Hello everybody and welcome back to our channel. Today I want to talk about a very powerful and very incredible foundational skill. In fact, it is the most important foundational skill of all the foundational skills, and I will explain that in the video. It's the skill of focusing. So let me tell you a bit about my history with focusing. When I first started delving into the mystical arts, I was a teenager, like most good teenage witches. I had no idea what I was doing. It was great times. But luckily I had demons guiding me and helping me, and then in my 20s I met my mentor, so I was saved from potentially ruin and, well, danger. Anyway, I met my mentor when I was 20, and he told me I needed to learn to focus. He told me that I needed to develop my focusing skills and that I needed to learn to harness the power of my mind and harness my thoughts. So I had started working with Azazel earlier. I started working with Azazel in my teens, in my mid-teens, and he was training me to focus at that time, but I didn't actually have the association for it. So a lot of the skills that Azazel was getting me to do was like candle gazing and gazing at specific things, learning to direct my attention towards a specific target and holding my attention on that target. So he didn't actually but I never associated it with focus, so I didn't know it was a skill. This is one of the things I talk about when I say, when you start out, you are going to get things. You are going to get things, and you might not actually have words for them yet. This is why it's really important that you write everything down that you get, because later in your life, you're going to come back and you'll be like, oh, Azazel was teaching me to focus there, or oh, Lucifer meant this, or oh, this makes so much more sense now. So yeah, that's really important. That's why I say if you want to write everything down that happens, because even if it seems silly and ridiculous, it might be the demon actually trying to help you build an association so that you can bridge the gap between what they're trying to teach and what it means here. So Azazel was having me gaze at candles, he was having me sit in meditation, he was having me quiet my mind, direct my thoughts, focus on one thing, be in control of my mind. Then I met my mentor, and my mentor's like, well, you need to learn to focus. So then I started reading about focusing, and I'm like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. Azazel's been teaching me to do that. So my mentor said, yes, Azazel's really, really good at teaching focus. He's really good at helping you to sharpen your mind and helping you to take control of your brain and all the random mishmash it likes to do. See, the brain likes to just go wherever it wants. It enjoys drama. It enjoys, it enjoys all the distracting thoughts that actually keep us from our goal. It's like if you've ever been working, you have to get something done, and suddenly your brain's like, hey, why don't we watch a movie? Or hey, Netflix sounds great right now. Why don't we go watch that? So your brain is constantly trying to distract you, and it's constantly trying to shift your attention away from what you want. Focusing actually allows you to develop the skill to control your brain and bring your attention back to what it is you're doing and back to what it is you're focusing on. This is one of the reasons why it's such a strong and such an amazing foundational skill, not just in spiritual development, but in all areas of your life. So basically what you're doing is you are learning to harness your brain's power and direct it at a specific task. Now, even on the surface, that sounds like such a powerful skill. Just think about it. Imagine you want to write a book, but you keep getting distracted. Different things keep popping up. Your mind looks out the window. You look at the tree. You look at that bird. You look at the cat that's walking across the road. Your mind is constantly trying to pull you away from your task. A focused mind, though, can clear all those distractions. It can shut them all out, and it can give you the space to direct your attention to what it is you want to do. So when you are in the focused state, you will sit down and you will write your book. You will take action towards what it is you want to take, and nothing will interfere with that. A person who has mastered focusing can have a bomb go off next to them and they won't even notice it. That's the power of the mind, and that's the power of your ability to focus. When you can focus to that degree, you can accomplish anything. Focusing, see, there's another component to focusing. We can focus on things we love. Have you ever played video games for hours? Just sat there and played video games, and the next thing you know, 12 hours has gone by? You're focused on the video games because you like them. You're passionate about them. That's not the focus we're talking about. Focusing on a video game is great. Focusing on something you're passionate about, though, is easy. That's not where the real skill in focusing comes from. The real skill in focusing comes from focusing on the most boring thing imaginable as if it were the video game. You put the same care and attention and energy into the most boring and mundane task as you do into the most exciting ones. That is when you have a focused mind. The mind wants to do things that it enjoys. It's constantly looking for gratification. It's constantly looking for a hit of dopamine. So things you naturally enjoy, of course it's going to focus on. Video games are fun. They're continuously giving you that rush. Things are changing. The pictures are evolving. You can get lost in that world. It's like a giant fantasy adventure for your mind. It loves it. Of course it's going to focus on it. However, sitting down to write your book or to, edit something that you want to edit, or for those of you who are still in school, do your homework, your mind doesn't want to do that. So it's going to distract you. You'll sit down to write your book and suddenly your brain will be like, why don't we watch a Netflix show? It's only half an hour. Then we can write. You ever had your mind do that? It's because it's trying to distract you. It's trying to break your focus so that you'll do something that's fun. Because when you do something that's boring, when you do something that you have to commit your mind to, you don't get those rushes. You don't get that hit of dopamine. You don't get that adrenaline. You just sit there and your mind gets bored. It gets bored and it wants to do something else. So it tries to shift you away from that. So when you are learning to focus, what you're basically learning to do is you're learning to direct your thoughts at something specific, one specific task. So if you want to write your book, everything else gets blocked out. You shut out the world and you focus on that book until you've attained your word goal. So let's say you want to write 10,000 words. You shut the world out and you focus until you attain those 10,000 words. Your body can also tag team with your mind to distract you. You could be right in the middle of writing and suddenly your stomach's like, I'm hungry, give me some food. That can also be a distraction. Obviously, for most of us, unless you are in a seriously impoverished state, when our stomach does that, especially when we are working on something, it's not actually hungry. It's just trying to distract us. And we're not going to starve if we don't eat in that moment. So a lot of times it's just a distraction technique where your mind and your body now are trying to tag team you to break your focus. This is why training your focus is such an important foundational skill, because when you have that focus state, when you have that ability to be like, no, we're doing the work, shifting your attention back to what you're doing and focusing on it. Shift your attention back and focus. Then nothing can distract you. You won't get sucked into drama. You won't succumb to the distractions. The call of Netflix will not tempt you. You will be focused on your task and you'll accomplish more. You'll actually be able to accomplish more and get done all those goals that you want to achieve. Most of the time, people don't attain their goals because of lack of focus, because they are not willing to commit their attention and the energy needed to stay on task. They get distracted and their mind and their body sometimes wins over and pulls them away. So focusing is basically over. So that is why it's so important to develop your focusing, because then you can commit to your tasks, you can commit to what it is that you want to accomplish, and you can make great strides, not just in your spiritual practice, but also in your life. Now, focusing is really important for spirituality because a lot of our skills depend basically on our ability to focus. Our ability to communicate with spirits, our ability to call them and evoke them to us. That all comes from focusing. You need to be able to hold the focused state, and you need to be able to actually hold your mind and be present in that space. You need to be focused on what you are doing. You also have to stay present with the spirit. You have to stay present and engage with them. Hear their words, hear their knowledge, honor the sacred space that you've created with them. This is why focusing is important. Focusing can also develop a lot of higher advanced spiritual skills, like the ability to mind control others, to shift their energy so that you have sway over them and control them. Focusing also helps you to connect with the energies that are around you and shift the world so that you can manifest what you want. Being focused on your manifestations and being focused on the goals helps bring them to you. It helps pull what you desire to you. So the more focused you are on your goals, the faster you'll attain them. Being focused can also open up the area where you can read the minds of others. When you're focused on their energy, you'll get insights and impressions on who they are. You can connect the energies of their aura and you can read them. You can tell when you're about to be deceived. You can tell when somebody's a true friend or when somebody's about to betray you. There's so many applications for focusing. When you're casting spells, basically what you're doing with your spell work is you are programming energies to produce the desired result. Your curses, your manifestation magic, your healing magic, your shielding magic, your protection magic, all of this requires focus. You need to stay focused during your spell work in order to properly infuse the right vibrations into your spell. You want your spell to have a desired effect, so you need to make sure that you are focused and present with the energies and encoding what you want to happen into that space. That is the power of focus. It allows you to get better, faster, and more amazing results than you would if you're not focused. Execration work also requires a great deal of focus because you're programming negative energy vibrations, and you want to make sure that at the end of that ritual you can sever them entirely and then move on, releasing them so that there's no way that energy will come back to you. There's so many profound things that you can do when you're focusing. It is such an important and foundational skill, and it is one that you really need to work to develop. It's also, ironically, the most boring foundational skill to develop because most of the time you're just sitting there gazing, either at a candle, at a dot on the wall. You're just focusing. You're diverting your attention and focusing on a singular point. And the more boring the point is, the better. Because when you are focusing on that singular point, you are training your mind. You are training your mind that it can't distract, it can't deviate, it can't, lure you away with Netflix. You're training it that this is what we're doing and this is what we're focusing on. And the more you do that, the stronger your focus will become and the more influence and control you'll have over not just on yourself, but on the world around you. A person who can focus their mind and focus their thoughts can also connect to the energies around them and command those energies. They can also connect to the energies of people around them and sway them to their will and desire. This is where mind control comes from, and this is why some people have the power of persuasion over others. It is due to their ability to focus and their ability to concentrate. It is an incredibly powerful and incredibly potent skill. So some of the best ways to develop focusing are really simple. One of my favorite is gazing at a candle. You basically sit in a dark room, light a candle, and gaze at it. Only focus on the flame. That's all you're focused on is the flame. Gaze at the candle, focus on the flame. People have asked me if you blink during this. No, you don't blink. You will go through a period where your eyes will water. Your eyes will water incessantly. Like you will just have the floodgates open. This is your eyes cleansing. You're being purified. The toxins are leaving your body. Allow this to happen and know that it will pass. Eventually you'll get to a point where you can just sit there completely focused on the candle and you won't even think about blinking. You'll just be there, you focused on the candle. Eventually, you will be able to connect with the flame, and you'll be able to control it. You can make it grow larger. You can make it grow smaller. Some people have been able to even put it out with their mind. It all comes down to the power of focus. The more focused you are, the stronger your mind becomes, and the more capable you are of doing these amazing tasks. You want to be strong in your body. You want to be strong in your mind. Focusing also leads to another powerful skill, which is mental mastery. You have control over your emotions. Things will happen to you, but you won't react to them. You won't be bothered by them. You will know how to control your emotions and divert that energy to where it is most productive. A lot of times when things that are upsetting hit us, we react. It's an instinct reaction. A mind that is focused will not react. It will acknowledge its emotions. This is a very important thing to note. A lot of people mistake repressing their emotions for not reacting to their emotions. You never want to repress your emotions. The more you repress your emotions, the more the shadows are going to build, and the more your emotions will actually have control over you. These are why some people, they seem completely emotionless except for moments where they burst out in anger. This is because they've lost control of their emotions, because they've repressed so much. So they just keep repressing their emotions until finally the floodgates open and they just erupt in sheer anger. That's not a healthy state, and that's not what I'm talking about here. A person who has emotional mastery acknowledges their emotions. They say, this upsets me greatly. And then they choose how they are going to react or when they are going to react. This also gives the individual control. When somebody can't provoke you and they can't gain that emotional control over you, they can't direct you. You take power back. One of the secrets of mind control is actually offsetting and emotionally destabilizing the person you're trying to mind control. When they are emotionally unstable, then you can influence them and direct them. It's a very powerful skill, and it's used for a lot of different things. When you actually have the ability to control your emotions, this doesn't happen because somebody tries to trigger you and you're like, okay, I'm not going to be triggered by that. I'm not going to react to that. I'm acknowledging that this upset me, but I'm going to choose how to react to that. And I'm not going to let it bring me down. So it'll help you in that regard too. So focusing, it is such a powerful and incredible skill, and it's one that I highly recommend you work at developing. It can be as simple as taking 15 minutes a day and gazing at a black dot on the wall. If you're gazing at the black dot on the wall, just gaze at it. Just focus on the dot. Nothing exists but you and the dot. And again, like the candle gazing, you might have a period in the beginning where your eyes water, but eventually you'll get to a point where it doesn't matter. It's just you gazing at the dot. You are completely focused and fixated on the dot, and nothing else matters. That will strengthen your mind, it will strengthen your ability, and you'll start to get to a point where you'll realize that you are very aware of what's going on around you. You're very connected and in tune with not just your body, but also your mind, your thoughts, the energies around you. You're going to start seeing things. You're going to start picking up on things that you never noticed before. You'll be more present. You'll be more grounded, and you'll be more centered. And you'll be able to master yourself and master your own energies. It's such a powerful skill to develop. So take the time every day. It only takes like 5 minutes a day. Just sit in silence and gaze at the candle flame or gaze at a dot on the wall. It's more about consistency than actually how long you can do it. Eventually you will build up and be able to hold the focus state for even hours. Some people can hold it for days. There's actually Buddhist monks that hold the focus state for 40 days and 40 nights because they train themselves. They train themselves to be in that level of advanced focused. But for now, 5 minutes a day. Just take 5 minutes a day and just focus. You will be amazed at all the different areas of your life that this is going to impact in a positive way. Not just your metaphysical practice. Your memory will be better. You'll be sharper. You'll notice things. You'll be more observant. You will see things around you, and the world will make more sense. There will be a sense of clarity within you and also a sense of peace. When you take the time to focus, you also take the time to center yourself and to be present with yourself, which benefits you in the long run too. It's a great skill. I could talk about it for hours, but I'm going to end this video here. So thank you so much for watching. If you love our content, please like and subscribe and hit the little bell button so that you are always notified when we have a new video coming up. If you have any comments, any questions, any suggestions, please drop them below in the comment section. I do read the comment section, and I might feature one of your questions in a future upcoming video. So for now, until next time, love you guys, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye!